Sam Giancana. The name itself commanded respect, even fear. In the annals of organized crime, few names resonate as powerfully as that of Sam Giancana. In the shadowy world of organized crime, he was a titan. His influence stretched far beyond the dark alleyways and smoky backrooms of Chicago. Giancana was a man who seemed to rise from the streets of Chicago to become a legend. Born to Italian immigrants, he grew up in a tough neighborhood where survival meant being tougher than the next guy. His steely gaze and ruthless efficiency were as much his trademarks as his tailored suits and expensive cigars. These were not just symbols of his success, but tools of his trade. He was a man who understood power. He knew that true power wasn't just about muscle or money but about influence and fear. He knew how to acquire it, wield it, and how to make others pay for it. His operations were meticulously planned, and his network of informants and enforcers ensured that his grip remained unchallenged. Giancana climbed the ranks of the Chicago Outfit, a ruthless organization that controlled a vast criminal network. This was no small feat, as the outfit was known for its brutal internal politics and deadly power struggles. They were involved in everything from gambling and extortion to prostitution and murder. The outfit's reach extended into every corner of the city, and Giancana was at the helm, steering its course with an iron fist. Giancana thrived in this environment. His ability to navigate the treacherous waters of organized crime made him a formidable figure. His cunning and ruthlessness quickly made him one of the most feared mobsters in America. He was not just a leader but a symbol of the power and danger that the mob represented. He was a man who could order a hit with a nod and a whisper. His word was law, and his enemies knew that crossing him meant certain death. There was never any doubt that his orders would be carried out to the letter. His enforcers were loyal and efficient, ensuring that his will was done without question. But Giancana wasn't just a thug in a pinstripe suit. He was a man of contrasts, blending brutality with a surprising level of sophistication. He cultivated an image of sophistication. He moved in high society, attending glamorous events and rubbing shoulders with the elite. He enjoyed the company of celebrities and politicians, blurring the line between the underworld and the glamorous world above. His connections extended into the highest echelons of power, making him a figure of intrigue and influence. He was often seen with Frank Sinatra. Their friendship was the stuff of legend, adding a touch of Hollywood glamour to Giancana's already larger-than-life persona. The Rat Pack's performances in Las Vegas provided the perfect cover for mob business, and Giancana reveled in the spotlight. Giancana's power was absolute. He was a man who thrived on attention, using it to further his own ends. In the world he ruled, loyalty was paramount, and betrayal was met with swift and brutal retribution. His reign was marked by a strict code of conduct that left no room for disloyalty. He was a man who lived by his own code, a code that demanded respect and instilled fear in equal measure. It was a code that was unforgiving and often deadly. Those who dared to defy it paid the ultimate price. He was a true emperor of the underworld, and his reign of power seemed destined to last. His legacy, a blend of fear, respect, and ruthless efficiency, remains etched in the annals of organized crime history. Chicago, with its smoky backrooms and clandestine gambling dens, was Giancana's domain. The city was a labyrinth of vice, where the line between law and crime was often blurred. In these shadowy corners, Giancana thrived, building his empire brick by brick. He controlled a vast network of illegal activities. From bootlegging to bookmaking, his operations were as diverse as they were profitable. Each venture added another layer to his growing influence. Slot machines, a vice that devoured the hopes and dreams of countless souls, were his cash cows. These machines, strategically placed in bars and clubs, ensured a constant flow of revenue. The rhythmic clinking of coins was the soundtrack to his rise to power. Each coin drop was a testament to his growing dominance in the underworld. But Giancana's ambitions stretched far beyond the city limits. He was not content with just ruling Chicago. He had grander visions. He set his sights on the glittering oasis of Las Vegas. The city, with its neon lights and endless possibilities, was the perfect stage for his next act. The casinos, with their promise of fortune and despair, were ripe for the picking. Giancana saw the potential to turn these establishments into gold mines. Giancana saw an opportunity to expand his empire, and he seized it with both hands. His influence began to seep into the very fabric of Las Vegas. He used his influence to skim millions from casinos like the Sands and the Desert Inn. These operations were meticulously planned, ensuring maximum profit with minimal risk. His reach even extended to the Caribbean island of Cuba. The island, with its vibrant nightlife and lax regulations, was a haven for his operations. Before Castro's revolution, Havana was a playground for the rich and powerful. The city's allure was irresistible, drawing in celebrities, politicians, and mobsters alike. Giancana, with his sharp suits and even sharper mind, fit right in. He navigated the high society of Havana with ease, always looking for the next big score. He saw the potential for immense profits in Cuba's casinos. These establishments were gold mines waiting to be tapped. He forged alliances with the corrupt Batista regime, securing his grip on the island's lucrative gambling operations. These alliances were crucial, providing him with the protection and freedom he needed to operate. Giancana's control over these gambling meccas was absolute. His presence was felt in every corner of the casino floors. His men were everywhere, ensuring a steady stream of illicit cash flowed back to the outfit's coffers. The operations were smooth, efficient, and highly profitable. He had his hooks in politicians, judges, and law enforcement officials, guaranteeing his empire remained untouched. This web of corruption was his safety net, ensuring that no one dared to challenge his authority. The money flowed like water, fueling his ambition and solidifying his grip on power. Each dollar was a step closer to his ultimate goal: unchallenged dominance in the world of organized crime. Sam Giancana knew that true power wasn't just about brute force, it was about influence, the kind that could shape the very fabric of society. It was about having politicians in your pocket, ensuring that decisions made in the corridors of power aligned with your interests. He understood the art of leverage, knowing exactly when to apply pressure and when to offer a helping hand. He knew how to make people in power do his bidding, often without them even realizing they were being manipulated. Giancana used his wealth and influence to cultivate relationships with politicians, creating a network of loyalty and obligation. He donated generously to campaigns, ensuring the loyalty of those he supported. These donations were not just acts of charity, but investments in his own power. His influence was felt most keenly in the 1960 presidential election, a pivotal moment in American history. John F. Kennedy, a young and ambitious senator, was vying for the highest office in the land. Giancana saw an opportunity to extend his reach even further. He believed that Kennedy, with his family's connections and his own charisma, could be manipulated to serve the outfit's interests, making him a perfect candidate for Giancana's plans. Rumors swirled that Giancana used his connections to help secure Kennedy's victory in key states, tipping the scales in a tightly contested election. The whispers of backroom deals and fixed vote counts followed Kennedy to the White House, casting a shadow over his administration. Whether the rumors were true or not, the perception of Giancana's influence was undeniable. He had crafted an image of a man who could make or break political careers. He had become a silent power broker, a shadowy figure pulling the strings from behind the scenes, orchestrating events to his advantage. Giancana had seemingly achieved the impossible, transforming himself from a street-level thug to a kingmaker with the power to influence national politics. He had risen from the streets of Chicago to become a kingmaker, a testament to his cunning and strategic mind. His influence extended to the highest levels of government, reaching into the very heart of American democracy. He had the ear of the most powerful man in the world, a position that few could ever dream of achieving. The reign of power Giancana built was not destined to last. His involvement with the Kennedys would prove to be a double-edged sword. Robert Kennedy, the president's brother and the newly appointed Attorney General, had other plans. Bobby Kennedy had a deep-seated hatred for organized crime. He saw Giancana and the outfit as a cancer on American society. Bobby Kennedy was relentless in his pursuit of justice. He launched a crusade against organized crime. The Justice Department under his leadership became a formidable force. They were determined to dismantle the vast criminal empires that had operated with impunity for decades. Giancana, once untouchable, found himself in the crosshairs. The man who had operated in the shadows was now thrust into the harsh glare of the spotlight. The pressure from the Kennedy administration was relentless. Federal agents were breathing down his neck, raiding his establishments and hauling in his associates. The walls were closing in on Sam Giancana. The man who had once seemed invincible was now facing the very real possibility of a long prison sentence. The FBI, under J. Edgar Hoover's direction, had Giancana in their sights. They were determined to bring him down. Agents worked tirelessly, following leads, cultivating informants, and building a case against the Chicago boss. They knew that to catch a man like Giancana, they needed to be patient, to wait for him to make a mistake. Wiretaps were authorized on Giancana's phones. The FBI listened in on his every conversation. They heard him talk business, threaten rivals, and boast about his connections. The surveillance tapes were a goldmine of information, providing a glimpse into the inner workings of the Chicago outfit. Giancana, always aware of his surroundings, began to suspect he was being watched. He became more cautious, more paranoid. He changed his routines, used aliases, and met with his associates in secluded locations, but the FBI was always one step ahead. They followed his every move, documenting his every transgression. Phyllis McGuire was a striking woman who moved with an air of confidence. She was a former showgirl and lounge singer, accustomed to the attention of men. Giancana, despite his tough exterior, was captivated by her beauty. He showered her with lavish gifts and took her to the most exclusive nightclubs. Their relationship quickly became the talk of Chicago. The newspapers had a field day, publishing photos of the unlikely couple. But what Giancana didn't know was that Phyllis had a secret. She was an informant for the FBI. Phyllis provided the FBI with valuable information about Giancana's movements, his associates, and his business dealings. She was privy to his most guarded secrets, and she shared them all with the agents who courted her. Giancana, blinded by love and infatuation, never suspected the woman he trusted was betraying him. His weakness for Phyllis McGuire would prove to be his undoing.